talk about who owns your restaurants?
I own my restaurant.
No, you don't know, sir.
God, before Lisa Vanderpump got her teeth redone, I had an issue with them. I had such an issue with the gums. I was like, honey, you need new caps. Your gum line is receding. No, they look great. Well, at least you can stand up.
Camille Grammer once stood as a symbol of glamour, composure, and Beverly Hills perfection. She was the woman with the mansion on the hill, the enviable lifestyle, and the Hollywood husband whose fame extended across continents. To fans, she seemed untouchable, the perfect mixture of elegance and calm amid the chaos of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But behind that poised exterior was a storm brewing.
All right.
You girls were really nasty.
But you didn't have to do it in a public way.
Well, I was kind of dishing out what I got. I didn't like a lot of the stuff you did last year. Honestly, we're not good.
Okay.
So there you go. Well, you just called me an asshole. That's not a great hello. Hey, hello, you're an asshole. Thank you. I think I'll pass on that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right.
There you go.
We're
That's
done.
what happened.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Who's the asshole? Renna, it's you. If you don't want to talk to me now, I guess I'm just gonna have to tweet about this later.
Her world was built on image, and image can crumble faster than any mansion built on sand. From her carefully crafted persona to the cracks exposed through divorce, scandal, and loss, Camille's journey became a slow public unmasking. Her story is not one of sudden tragedy, but of erosion, of control slipping away, of perfection revealing pain. And in many ways, her downfall wasn't just an accident of fame. It was the natural consequence of a life that relied too heavily on illusion. Born Camille Donatacci in Newport Beach, California, and raised in New Jersey, she grew up far from the glittering lights of Hollywood. Her early years were defined by ambition, the desire to be seen, to be admired, to make it beyond small-town obscurity. By the late 1980s, Camille had begun working as a dancer on MTV's Club MTV and modeling for Playboy's Book of Lingerie. She even appeared in low-budget films such as The Naked Detective, Private Parts, and Marilyn Chambers' Bedtime Stories. These roles might seem small, but they established a pattern. Camille was bold, fearless about visibility, and understood that attention, even controversial attention, could be currency. This early exposure to fame taught her something critical: how to craft an image. She learned how to pose, how to speak, how to present confidence even when uncertain. She was learning how to perform, not just for cameras, but for the world. Yet this same skill would later betray her, because when you build yourself as a performance, the real you starts to fade. Camille's life changed dramatically in 1997 when she married Frasier star Kelsey Grammer. Their marriage catapulted her into the upper ranks of Hollywood society. They lived a life of luxury: homes in Malibu and Hawaii, lavish events, and appearances at elite functions. Together they had 2 children, Mason and Jude, both born via surrogate. From the outside, they seemed like a power couple, the Emmy-winning actor and his glamorous wife. But inside, cracks were forming. Kelsey's addiction struggles, infidelities, and controlling behavior created a volatile environment. Camille herself later said Kelsey encouraged her to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as a parting gift before leaving her. A haunting statement that, in retrospect, defined her reality TV arc. When Rob premiered in 2010, Camille was introduced as the epitome of wealth and sophistication, the woman who had it all. But as the show progressed, her life began to fall apart in front of millions. Her marriage was crumbling, and she became, almost unwillingly, the face of a Hollywood wife unraveling. The exposure was both a blessing and a curse. It gave her fame and sympathy, but it also stripped her of privacy. Every tear, every argument, every rumor, all became storylines. On Roab, Camille projected confidence, control, and refinement. She was the woman who never broke composure, even during chaos. Her Malibu mansion, which she described as pretty much a park, symbolized her self-worth. Vast, manicured, untouchable. But her elegance often crossed into arrogance. Viewers admired her beauty but sensed a coldness underneath. She often referred to herself in glowing terms, emphasizing her intellect, body, and lifestyle in ways that seemed detached from her castmates' realities. To some, she was aspirational, to others, condescending. Reality television thrives on relatability, not perfection. Camille's insistence on projecting flawlessness created distance. She became more image than person. And that image was brittle. Once viewers detect artifice, sympathy evaporates. Still, there was a fragility behind the facade. Her constant references to Kelsey's success and her own dependence on it hinted at insecurity. She didn't yet know it, but her identity, the glamorous wife, the elegant mother, the hostess with the perfect home, was about to collapse. The unraveling came swiftly. In 2010, tabloids exploded with news that Kelsey Grammer had left Camille for a younger flight attendant, Kate Walsh. Within months, he was publicly engaged, and Camille was left to process betrayal in front of an audience. The timing was brutal. As her marriage imploded, the Real Housewives cameras rolled. She was filmed crying, confronting gossip, and battling humiliation. Fans sympathized at first. Who wouldn't? A betrayed wife with 2 children deserved compassion. But Camille's response turned sympathy into skepticism. She oscillated between heartbreak and superiority.
Details. The bitter end of Camille and Kelsey Grammer's marriage played out in front of viewers on Bravo's The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Prior to the Tony Awards, my husband called me in the middle of the night and told me that he was done with our marriage.
Now, TMZ reported that Camille will walk away with a big chunk of change in her settlement with the Frasier star. $30 million to be exact. That's exactly half of what the couple's assets are said to be worth. Apparently, Camille, a stay-at-home mom turned reality star, gets 50% because Kelsey was broke when they first got together due to a reported drug problem.
In interviews, she painted herself as the victim while subtly flaunting her settlement, reportedly around $30 million. Her attempts to remain graceful sometimes came across as bitterness wrapped in luxury. The public watched her transformation in real time. What was once grace became self-defense. What was once poise became calculation. And in the eyes of many viewers, she started to embody the very traits people disliked in the rich: detached, self-pitying, tone-deaf. Divorce stripped away her title as Mrs. Grammer. Without that identity, she struggled to redefine herself. And reality TV, unforgiving as ever, documented every stumble. After the divorce, Camille faced a string of personal hardships. In 2013, she was diagnosed with stage 2 endometrial cancer and underwent a radical hysterectomy. Then in 2017, she revealed a new diagnosis: skin cancer. These health battles humanized her, showing a vulnerability fans hadn't seen before. Yet even these moments of truth were complicated by her image. Camille often spoke about wanting to maintain her beauty and youth despite illness. And in 2020, she revealed she'd had her breast implants removed for health reasons, saying she wanted to feel free and natural. While audiences respected her resilience, others felt she still clung to the perfection narrative, documenting procedures and recovery on social media, sometimes blurring the line between awareness and attention-seeking. Still, cancer changed her perspective. It forced her to confront mortality and the superficial world she'd built her life around. She said in interviews that illness gave her clarity. But by then, the public had moved on. The sympathy was fleeting. The scrutiny remained. Just as she was finding balance again, tragedy struck. In 2018, California's Woolsey fire swept through Malibu, destroying her home. She lost almost everything. Photos of the charred remains made headlines, a grim reminder that even Beverly Hills wealth can't stop nature's fury.
I woke up to this video of Camille's house on fire, full of fire, and I'm shocked. And I'm thinking, no way, this can't be. We just spoke to her.
I just found out my house is okay. Last night literally was insane. I've never experienced a mass evacuation like that.
Everything was fine. She hadn't lost her house. What happened?
Oh my God, I can't believe her house burned down.
For a time, Camille lived in a trailer on the remnants of her property. It was a stunning reversal. The woman who once flaunted square footage now had none. She spoke publicly about the pain of loss, but not everyone sympathized. Some felt she still came across privileged, talking about rebuilding in Malibu, while others lost lives or lifelong homes. Still, this moment marked a turning point. It was one of the few times she appeared stripped of glamour, visibly grieving, humbled, and human. And yet, even that vulnerability was temporary. Soon after, she returned to posting beach selfies and subtle reminders of her former status. The pattern repeated: tragedy, reflection, rebound into vanity. The cycle fed the narrative that Camille didn't change. She just adapted her brand. Camille's return to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in later seasons should have been her redemption. Instead, it reignited old perceptions. Castmates accused her of duplicity, being sweet off camera and venomous on camera.
Vanderpump was out. You were right there.
Camille, you are confusing.
You girls want me to jump on that hate
That's not
train.
true. You do a good job on your own.
Tori, you're the most phoniest person I've ever met.
You said I curse at my daughters. It was no
I
big
don't
deal.
curse at my
It was in the
daughters.
Bahamas. You were drunk. You came in.
This is where we think before we speak, Camille.
This is totally set.
What is a setup?
That's a setup.
No, what are you talking about?
Did
I'm
your
done.
own
What are you
stuff
talking
on-
about?
I'm done.
She sparred with Kyle Richards, Lisa Vanderpump, and Denise Richards, often inserting herself into conflicts she wasn't part of. Her comments, subtle digs about looks, marriages, or loyalty reignited the mean girl label. Behind the scenes, reports surfaced of contract disputes and tension with producers. She complained publicly that editing made her look bad, a familiar refrain in the Housewives universe. But while editing can manipulate, it can't invent tone. Fans noticed the pattern. Camille's charm always carried an edge, and when that edge cut too deep, she blamed others. Eventually, Bravo phased her out again. She appeared in cameos, but never as the central figure she once was. Her absence wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, almost symbolic. The once essential player simply faded away. Away from the cameras, Camille tried to reinvent herself through business. She co-owned Gramnet Productions with Kelsey, giving her some behind-the-scenes Hollywood credibility. But as his career continued and hers stalled, she struggled to build an identity independent of him. She launched minor ventures, charity work, wellness posts, social media partnerships, but none gained traction. Unlike other housewives who built brands, Camille's brand lacked authenticity. Her attempts to shift toward health advocacy after her cancer battle were commendable, but the public perceived inconsistency. One day she'd discuss health awareness, the next she'd boast about luxury vacations. It wasn't malicious, just tone deaf. But perception is everything. By 2020, Camille Grammer was no longer the glamorous centerpiece of Beverly Hills society. She'd remarried in 2018 to attorney David C. Meyer, a quieter match compared to her first husband. But even this chapter didn't fully stabilize her reputation. Online, fans noted her tendency to re-enter drama via social media, commenting on Bravo disputes, shading former co-stars, or posting cryptic remarks about truth. Instead of appearing wise and self-assured, she appeared bitter, clinging to relevance through controversy. Meanwhile, newer housewives eclipsed her. The Bravo world moved on to fresher scandals, younger stars, bigger personalities. Camille, once essential, became peripheral. Her downfall wasn't explosive. It was slow, an erosion rather than an implosion. Step by step, she lost credibility, sympathy, and intrigue. The tragedy is that she had opportunities for rebirth. Illness could have redefined her as a survivor. Loss could have humbled her into authenticity. But each time, she reverted to the same pattern, reclaiming vanity, defending perfection, maintaining control. And when control defines your identity, losing it, even slightly, feels like death. After her public and personal losses, Camille tried to rebuild her image. She returned to Robj and guest spots, appeared at Bravo events, and hinted at a full-time comeback. But the show and audience had evolved. Newer cast members thrived on humor and openness, while Camille's polished, defensive tone felt out of step. On social media, her critical posts about castmates and producers often reignited old feuds instead of winning sympathy. Fans saw her as stuck in the past, unable to move beyond bitterness. Still, brief moments of honesty, talking about surviving cancer or rebuilding after the fires, reminded viewers of her strength. Yet, the magic never fully returned. She became a legacy name, respected but no longer essential. Camille's attempt at revival faltered because she couldn't release the perfectionist persona that once defined her. True redemption in the end required vulnerability, something she only showed in glimpses. Camille Grammer's story reads like a Hollywood morality play. A beautiful woman given everything, only to lose it because she couldn't let go of the illusion. She wasn't destroyed by scandal or villainy, but by her own inability to evolve. Her brand, beauty, elegance, superiority, worked in the early 2010s when viewers adored opulence. But culture shifted toward authenticity and relatability. Camille didn't. She clung to perfection, even as life demanded vulnerability. Her downfall feels deserved because it's poetic. It reminds us that when fame is built on artifice, time will strip it away. You can't sustain glamour without grace, or power without humility. That doesn't mean she's a villain. It means she's human, but human in a world that punishes imperfection only when you pretend you don't have any. The woman who once hosted lavish dinners now lives with quieter priorities. She's still standing, still beautiful, still active on social media. But the spotlight that once defined her has dimmed, perhaps mercifully so. Camille Grammer's life offers a simple truth. Fame reveals and exposure exhausts. For those who mistake control for strength, downfall becomes inevitable. And maybe that's the redemption. That in losing everything, she finally found a kind of honesty. Not the glossy honesty of confessionals or magazine spreads, but the quiet kind. The kind that comes when no one's watching anymore.